brutal. The way you just do that, run up to a victim, and you just get to time it just right, and you can fucking one-shot them. Absolutely stunning. Hello everybody, I am Muddy Dragon, and we're here today having a look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first hands-on preview video here. So I saw about 30 seconds or a minute of it, was it like a month ago or something like that? And it was a TikTok video for it, and I was so impressed with it. And so I've just been on YouTube looking for all these new trailers and stuff like that, and bits of gameplay for all these new games coming out. And I just found this one. And oh my gosh, I'm already excited for it without even seeing the gameplay. Let's do this. I hope you're ready.
Oh my god!
Adapting the classic 1974 horror movie Texas Chain Saw Massacre into an asymmetrical multiplayer game might seem odd on the surface, particularly when the team setup isn't the same 4v1 we've become accustomed to with the popular Dead by Daylight, but instead the even stranger sounding 4v3 arrangement. It works exceptionally well in practice though, creating a tactical, tense, team-based multiplayer experience that favors brains over brawn. Whether you're on the victim team of 4 trying to escape or the serial-killing family trio trying to cut them down, Texas Chain Saw Massacre's tweak to the asymmetrical multiplayer format already plays great, and the 4v3 format is a great match for the movie license it's built around. Developer-publisher Gun Interactive promises more maps for launch next year, but for this preview session, I played a half dozen rounds in Texas Chain Saw Massacre's most recognizable location, the rural Texas house the film is set in. Victims start out in the basement, and teamwork is encouraged and, dare I say, vital. There are only a few ways out of the basement and just 2 ways out of the house once you get upstairs. In other words, there are only 2 ways to win. Yes, only 2, because the victims can't kill the family, but instead only stun them, further affecting the balance of power. They can, however, slip through narrow gaps in the walls and duck under barbed wire traps. Meanwhile, characters on both sides have unique skills. While the cook can listen closely to unstealthy victims and add locks to doors for the family, making it more time-consuming for the victims to get through them, Connie, for instance, has a one-time ability to break a lock instantly. This can literally mean the difference between victory and defeat, as in my final round, I was chasing down Connie as she made for the backyard gate. Meanwhile, the leather face of the franchise is big and not the slightest bit nimble, but he can use his chainsaw to cut through doors as well as destroy crawl space entrances and exits so that the victims have fewer navigation options. I reveled in his ability to rev his chainsaw and how that's tied to the power of his attacks. Swing your saw at a victim without revving it and you'll do a bit of damage. Rev it too high for too long and it'll stall out. But if you catch the sweet spot of the rev range, you'll get a one-hit kill complete with a quick and grisly cutscene. Note that you can also turn the chainsaw off in order to move around more stealthily as the big guy. From first-hand experience, I can tell you that this is immensely satisfying. Also, revving it while roaming the house allows him to very loudly induce terror into the hearts and minds of the victims.
Oh shit, better run.
He is my favorite character so far. Finally, the hitchhiker is the slickest and snakiest of the serial-killing trio. He can get through those same small cracks and crevices the victims can, and I made sure to use his agility to whisk myself right to the front yard as the match began, turning on the gas-powered generator that powers the electrified security system guarding the path to the road. He can also lay down traps that are guaranteed to slow the victims down, either by ensnaring them directly or by putting them in spots where the teenagers have to spend time disabling them. All 3 family members are wise to collect blood from around the house as well as from victims in order to feed Grandpa, the non-playable member of the family who acts as a sort of Sauron-esque all-seeing eye as the blood you feed him levels him up. He will occasionally shout and tag any victim who's moving in the moment he screams. And speaking of leveling up, there's a massive and persistent skill tree I didn't get to play with in this one-off demo session, but it promises to allow you to tailor your respective victim and family skills to your liking. I admit I enjoyed playing as the family more than the victims in my initial rounds. I had a blast trying to outsmart them despite being outnumbered. But no doubt, careful teamwork and coordination will pay off handsomely for good victim players, like when one of you goes to the top floor of the house and restores power to the basement exit, allowing their teammates another means of escape. Notably, too, victims are able to hide in dark corners of the house, in bushes outside, and sneak around quietly so as not to make a ton of noise and alert the family. As my developer guide put it, quote, "Just leaving a door open can hurt you in this game." The sheer number of tactics in play between these two starkly contrasted sides is impressive. More laudable is just how well Texas Chainsaw Massacre plays right now, despite its release date not being until sometime next year. The movie license hasn't just been slapped onto this game. Instead, it feels like an excellent pairing, and I can't wait to play more. For more on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, check out the uncensored gameplay trailer as well as the game versus film comparison trailer, and for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
Wow. Seeing that and knowing we've got this amazing game on the way for next year, this is definitely going to beat Dead by Daylight. There's going to be so many people playing this over that. That's a good game. Don't get me wrong, it is a good game. It gets a bit boring when you think about it, just going around as survivors do. I can play Survivor, I can't do it. And just doing the generators and then get away. It's just the same all the time, and it's quite predictable in its own way. I know this is going to be pretty much the same sort of thing, but in its own way, this is very different because of it's 3 killers and there's 4 survivors, and like you said, you start in the basement, you work your way up to the next level of the house, and then you have to try and get out after that. So it's very different in a lot of ways to Dead by Daylight, and in some ways it's also quite similar. And the fact that you can put down traps for them, and it's not just the one killer in Dead by Daylight, who, of course, the trapper and the hag, is it called the hag? Whoever the others are, and you put down traps and you can slow down and capture your victims that way. So it's nice that we've got 4 survivors, 3 killers, and Grandpa, of course. Can't forget Grandpa. And it's going to be, of course, more teamwork. This time we'll have to work together as the killers. So when this comes out, anyone want to play with me, then hit me up and we will definitely take on some survivors. I really like the ability of this guy, the Hitchhiker, where he can actually get through all the places that the survivors can get through. And I love the ability of like just being able to hack and slash people. And the cook, I like his ability, being able to listen in and find where the victims, we'll call them, whereabouts they are. That was quite a neat little one. And him, Leatherface, being able to cut through doors and all these obstacles to try and, well, prevent the survivors from managing to get away and stuff like that. That's a really decent ability, and also one that you get in Dead by Daylight, as well as that ability, pretty much a Mori from Dead by Daylight. But that's fucking brutal. The way you just do that, run up to a victim, and you just get to time it just right, and you can fucking one-shot them. Absolutely stunning. And you've got the hanging bones and stuff like that will, of course, alert you to whereabouts the victims are. Sort of like the crows, what they do in Dead by Daylight. We've got these in Texas Chain Saw. I am seriously hyped up for this one. Having more than one killer. Having more than one killer is going to be clearly a game changer. And being able to work as a team when you're the killers, that's going to be a lot of fun. This looks absolutely phenomenal. A 10 out of 10 game. I don't mind who I play as. I will be the cook. I will be the hitchhiker. I'll be Leatherface. I don't mind. This is right up my street. But of course, I won't be playing as the survivor. It's just the level of detail that they've gone for, and they've nailed the house. Absolutely nailed the fucking thing. Even the characters, they have nailed their looks. Down to the creepy ass way they walk, the look of them, even Leatherface, they've done a superb job with the face. Even the hitchhiker, the way he looks, nailed it. Everything, even Grandpa. If the game had a first-person ability on it for the killers, that would be quite interesting. That would be a whole another level of immersion. If the killers could do it as well as the survivors, that'd be quite fun. But going in with third-person, I'm not going to complain. Third-person games are not my thing, really. But for what this is, I am going to be getting this. I'll be playing the hell out of it on the channel. I'd love to know your thoughts on this game in the comments below. Please let me know. Are you excited for this one? For me, I think it's going to be as good, maybe even better than Dead by Daylight. Do you think it's going to be too much having 3 killers and the 4 survivors? Do you think it's going to kind of even the odds a little bit and make it more interesting, make it a lot more difficult? And you also like the ability that the survivors actually can attack the killers. Can't kill them, but you can slow them down. I think this is going to be an amazing game. I want to see more. I want to see more from each character. I mean, we're seeing quite a lot here, but I would like to just see like one game and see it played out from all the different perspectives, all the different characters that are in there. I am hyped as fuck for this. Just looks awesome. It really does. Anyway, thank you for watching. It is greatly appreciated. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, smash like and hit that bell to be informed whenever I bring out a new video. Have you seen the original film? That got banned for a very long time. It was alright. It weren't exactly amazing. Overall, there's not actually much violence in it for a film back in the 70s and going on what the film is about. You'd expect it to have full-on violence for the fact that it got banned. No. It doesn't actually have that much in it, which is quite surprising. Anyway, thank you all for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.